I'm a oldest son of three children of James Oliphant and Patsy Oliphant, my parents. And my dad was in the Air Force for close to 30-something years. They met in my grandparents' hometown of Marshall, Texas, and they fell in love, but my dad went out to Tucson, Arizona in the Air Force, and my mother followed him out there. And about a year and a half after they got married, I was born. So, so I'm a military brat, so to speak. Traveled around with my parents when Dad was traveling all over the U.S. and foreign countries. How I got into engineering is, I think I've told you this before, but I love the outdoors. I wanted to be a forest ranger growing up, and but I got into high school, and my high school guidance counselor said, "No, you're pretty good in math and science. You ought to pursue a technical career." And next thing you know, I was enrolled as an engineering student in college.
Sounds good. And you ended up going to Texas A&M University. Kind of walk me through that experience for you on, heading towards the Air Force as well as the engineering component of going to school.
Yeah, the Air Force was, obviously part of my background, and I wanted to essentially follow in my dad's footsteps. So I got an Air Force contract. Went to Texas A&M, graduated in 1974. My first assignment as a civil engineering officer was Keesler Air Force Base in Mississippi. But as those of you that are old enough to understand, 1974 was a pretty turbulent year as the Vietnam War was winding down. And so I went in there. So I went in as a brand new second lieutenant, civil engineering officer, as I said, and but soon thereafter we started pulling troops out of Vietnam. In 1975, we were completely out. The Air Force started seeing that and asked for volunteers to leave the Air Force. And as a brand new engineer, I said, I don't want to necessarily make the Air Force my career. My wife, your mother, was also an Air Force dependent, and we had made the decision we didn't want to do nearly as much traveling as our parents did. And so I got out of the Air Force and started my professional career.